All right, we're diving into something today that might just flip your whole understanding of reality on its head. We're going to explore a theory that redefines everything, from the solid objects you can touch to the very nature of time itself. So, let's get into it.
Okay, so look at this cup. Seems pretty straightforward, right? It's solid, it's real. But here's a question for you. Is it the only thing occupying this exact spot in the universe right now? Our gut says yes, but let's think about that for a second.
You know, right this very moment, there are Wi-Fi signals zipping through this room, through this cup, even through you. You can't see them, you can't feel them, but they are absolutely there. And if that one invisible reality is here, it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other realities are layered right on top of ours, totally invisible to us?
And that brings us to our first big idea. We're going to go beyond what we can see. It's time to challenge that old saying, seeing is believing, and look at what might exist just outside our perception.
Think about it like this. If you wave your hand in front of your face nice and slow, you see it, right? It's a solid hand. But what happens if you wave it back and forth, faster and faster and faster? It becomes a blur, almost invisible. Well, this theory suggests that what we call matter is just particles vibrating slowly enough for our senses to pick up. And when they vibrate way, way faster, they basically become invisible waves.
And that speed, well, that has a name. It's their vibrational frequency. This is the secret ingredient, the key variable that decides what shows up as solid in our world and what stays completely hidden from us. It's like the master tuning dial for reality.
So, if frequency is the secret sauce, then our whole definition of what's real needs a serious update. Let's dive a little deeper into this whole secret of vibration.
Now, this is where it gets really wild. This idea suggests that matter isn't some fixed, objective thing out there. Its realness actually depends entirely on whoever is looking at it. This completely changes the game from a universe of things to a universe of relationships.
And that leads us to this brand new definition. Matter is simply a match. It's what pops into your reality when your own personal frequency lines up with the frequency of what you're looking at. So, what's real for you might not be real for someone else. Reality is relative.
You've totally experienced this. Think about driving on a highway at night. The cars in the lane next to you, moving at roughly your speed, they look solid, clear, they're matter in your world. But the cars zooming past in the opposite direction, they're just a blur of light. Their vibrational frequency is just too different from yours for you to see them as a solid car. Okay, so if matter is whatever matches our frequency, what do we call all the stuff that doesn't match? This is where we get a totally new way of thinking about space. So get this, empty space isn't empty at all, not even close. It is jam-packed with countless other realities, objects, and information. They're just vibrating at frequencies that are too high or too low for us to perceive. Space is just the collection of everything we're not currently tuned into. Sound is a perfect example of this. Our ears can only pick up a certain range of frequencies, right? But we know for a fact that other frequencies, like ultrasound and infrasound, exist. To our ears, they're just silent space. But for a bat or an elephant, those exact same frequencies are matter, a very real, very tangible part of their world. It just proves that reality is tuned to the receiver. Okay, now this is where things get really personal, because this isn't just some abstract physics concept. It applies to our actual lives. Let's use this same framework of matter and space to look at things like wealth or happiness. So, let's ask the question, is wealth matter or is it space? And the fascinating answer from this point of view is it depends. It depends entirely on you. This breaks it down so clearly. For someone who's wealthy, abundance is their tangible reality. It's their matter. The daily struggle of poverty might seem abstract, distant, it's space to them. But for someone living in poverty, that struggle is their constant reality, their matter, while wealth feels like some far-off, intangible dream. It's space. The core idea here is that we experience as real the conditions that match our dominant internal state. So what controls this frequency? Where's the dial? Well, it's not out there somewhere. It's inside of you. It's your inner state, the combination of your most dominant thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. That is what's generating your personal frequency. You are literally the broadcast tower for your own reality. Now, prepare for one final, mind-bending leap. If we can redefine matter and space, what about the most fundamental thing of all? What about time? Let's see what happens when we apply this vibrational theory to time itself. According to this model, we need to stop thinking about time as a line we're all traveling on.
Instead, time is the experience of you shifting your own frequency. Moving from the past to the future isn't about a clock ticking forward. It's about you changing your vibrational state, which allows you to perceive a different slice of reality. You can actually map out a human life as a vibrational journey. You're born, your frequency starts rising through your youth, it hits its peak in adulthood, and then, for most people, it starts to lower as we get older. The different times of your life are really just different points along this vibrational curve.
And this totally explains things we see all the time. We all know people who just seem young for their age, right? Maybe they're just holding on to a high vibrational frequency. And on the flip side, you hear those tragic stories about someone who seems to age overnight after a huge shock. Well, that's just a sudden dramatic drop in their frequency.
And what's really cool is how frequency affects the value we create in time. In the exact same 24 hours, someone with a low, scattered frequency might not get much done, but someone operating at a super high frequency, focused, energized, in the zone, they can create an incredible amount of value. They're essentially experiencing a different quality of time, packing a week's worth of progress into a single day.
So let's bring this all home. If matter and space and even time are all just functions of vibration, and our inner world is what controls that vibration, well, the implications here are just massive.
And it all leads to this one powerful shift in thinking. The old model is about chasing after things, chasing money, chasing success, chasing happiness. This new model says, stop chasing, start tuning. The goal is to adjust your inner state, your own frequency, to match the frequency of the reality you want to experience.
And that leaves us with one last really big question. If you're the one holding the remote, if your inner world is creating the signal that shapes your life, what reality are you going to choose to tune into? Thanks for joining me on this one.